Grey Bronze is the character we've been using for West of Loathing, the playthrough that you are controlling.
Yep.
And I'm just doing the voice. So,
she's our rootin', tootin', spittoon, grabbing cowpuncher.
yeah, and I wanted to design what I think she would look like as not a stick figure. We're gonna see me figure out how she would look all humaned. And I figured out the landscape first, which is not typical.
That is a very classic southwestern landscape, too.
That was my goal. She doesn't have two heads in the end. I just trying to figure out the position of like, well, where does this leg go versus this head versus this arm?
Yeah, you just gotta do the figure drawing and see where everything, like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta have them both there to figure out which one makes sense.
And I definitely wanted the cleaver in there.
Big old knife.
Yeah, she doesn't have her gun. I decided that she just needed the one hand.
Well, we really never use the gun.
We don't, well, because Susie has the gun.
Susie has a gun. It's always the cleaver's always more damage because that's where we're putting our points.
Yeah.
So the gun's just there, like, I think the gun still gives us a boost to our muscle.
And the funky stripy hat is the most powerful hat we have.
Yes. Put it at a jaunty angle.
Yeah. Yeah, and
She's
just
leaping
a
over that
spit.
fence to go punch some cows.
Just says spit.
Spit.
I could have drawn a cow. I've drawn cow now, but
That would have been so much work. Drawing,
yes.
like, drawing humans is hard enough. Other animals are just a whole other level of, like, knowing the anatomy and drawing them so they don't look weird. And
That's true.
would have doubled the work. And it's fine. Then, plus, cows don't stay alive around Grey Bronze for very long anyway.
That's true.
They
She
came,
is a cow puncher.
and they're necessary now that the cows came home.
I wonder if I thought I was going to move her much, because I seem to move and then put her back, and then,
Figuring it out.
yeah.
Really nice eyes.
Thank you.
Like, good placement and good, like, the one smaller and at the proper angle.
They do change, but I had so much trouble with her nose and with her jaw. I used to be able to draw people.
You draw really good people.
Her expression changes too, because I realized that the character I'm playing, like the voice I'm using and the way we choose how she's interacting, she has a certain set of expressions she's gonna have, and it's not gonna be as like relaxed as this was.
I like the little smirk that's going on right now.
I wanted her to be a little bit more uncomfortable looking, and so we'll see how it changes later. And this is how I interpreted her hair. And it's just...
That's really good. You are really good at hair.
Thank you.
Just like, it's almost fractal the way that you build it off.
Just in chunks.
Yeah, and there's a patience to it that I am very envious of.
Well, with coloring it too, I try to color it in chunks. The trick is not to try to draw every single strand of hair. Yeah.
It still looks like you drew a lot of the strands of hair.
In clumps.
I think I don't, like, you draw a bunch of clumps. I think I just draw one big clump, and I think that's...
Fair. I had so much trouble with this hat too. Fabric and how fabric will lay on itself is hard for me.
Well, even in the game, it's like, how the hat is weird. And then
Yeah.
translating it to life. Because I guess they're trying to do, like, the hippie... A little exorcist there.
I had to flip the C, but it was just the head and nothing else.
Your mother punches cows in hell.
But yeah, no, the hat, they're trying to have it be based on where it happens in the game.
Yeah.
The hat more like this, but it looks more like a tall and, you know, like a Dr. Seuss hat in the
The
game.
1990s Jamiroquai hat.
Yeah. But I settled on this one. Her eyes look a little freaky until I figure it out later, but...
They're intense.
And she was a little buffer than I meant at first, so
Oh,
you see me
that's a
slim the
good
arm
buff
down.
lady.
You see me slim it
That's
down
an arm
now.
that's been punching lots of cows.
That's true. And hands. Hands are not the easiest thing in the world.
You don't just start being a cow puncher, you gotta practice.
Yes.
It's almost like a hatchet.
Yeah, no, I made it the biggest. Because in the game, it's huge. It's like... It is large.
4 feet long. I need more swords.
In general,
Yeah.
we can make that happen.
Yeah. So I've only got, well, I don't know. Are we counting the knife as a sword?
Maybe. Here's me trying to fix the grip. Because she had it very daintily, and I was like, that's not right.
Should be fist.
So she wound up somewhere between the two. Because she's still, relaxing. She's on break.
She's chilling out, maxing. She's relaxing, all cool.
She's on break.
Punching some cows.
Outside of the school.
Outside ye old schoolhouse.
I didn't know what she was going to be wearing. Not really. I knew I wanted fringe here.
Oh, that's nice.
And, maybe a vest. And so I give her a vest, and then it's, she's got to be wearing something underneath the vest, so you'll see that. But for now, it's just a vest. And figuring where the hair goes. There's a lot of trial and error.
It hangs nicely. There's a good implied motion that she's on her way over the fence to go punch something.
Yeah, coming? That's what she's doing. Oh, the spittoon. The spittoon was hard. Because it's just so many ellipses. This was the bane of my existence in art school. It maintains as the worst for me. Drawing an ellipse.
Drawing the vase.
Yeah. Because it's just, you gotta get the angle right, perspective right, and round edges some places, but not everywhere.
It's gotta be properly round in all the right places.
Ellipses. And I could have just written out spit, but I decided to do this, to make it just...
I guess that's where you keep Canadian metal band Kitty's debut album.
That was
That's a deep cut.
very specific. There, now she's looking a little less possessed.
We're going with all the 90s references. Was
Just
it the
you.
90s?
It's like really... It's kind of just you doing the 90s references.
We agreed it looked like a Jamiroquai hat, though.
You were the one who said... In any case, I said Dr. Seuss.
I can't believe you're throwing me under the 90s bus.
I am. I remembered that I could actually move the canvas. So I could do a tattoo. I usually just tilt my head really far. So I'm proud of me for actually rotating the canvas. I'm learning. I'm growing as a person.
It will help you not have to go to the chiropractor as often.
If I'm not tilting my head upside down while I draw.
No, I just need to hold my head at 220 degrees for the next hour.
Yeah, I'm already sitting like a shrimp. Here's me trying to figure out where Haboob would be.
Your boob.
Yeah. So I draw that and redraw it and figure it out piece by piece.
It's important you get the sad boob right.
Elbows are hard. Hands
See,
in
look
general.
at the way that you drew that hand, like first try with the proper angles and everything. That's just pure talent. Just mwah.
Thank you. Everything is wrong though. But thank you. The elbow, I move so many times. Because angles are hard.
Are you saying angles are the devil?
Ugh. Anyway, so if I had drawn this as a portrait, like a waist-up portrait, which I could have done, that would have been easier.
Yeah, you didn't have to go so hard on this, but no one can stop you.
Yeah. Here's where I start to change her expression and her face, because I want her mouth to be kind of more open, and it's terrible. Oh, watching it happen.
Trying it one thing at a time.
Yeah, her mouth got a little weird for a second.
Maybe that's clown her.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, she was a little too extreme, and then I had to chill it out a little bit. Because I wanted her to be, the goofy, fun person Who doesn't really understand why you're taking a picture right now, but okay, we'll smile.
I just sit like this for how long?
I thought this was gonna be a Polaroid. It's an oil painting? Okay.
Well, back in the day, let's just like, all right, we're gonna take your picture. You and your family stand still for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that piece of wood is going right up her butt. This is me trying to figure out her butt. She needed more thigh. I remember that.
You toned it down the bicep and toned up the thigh.
Yeah. Wrinkles are hard. I know that our character is wearing, like, black leather pants, I think. But I went with blue jeans, because that felt more Western to me. Based on old movies.
No, it was a good design decision. There's interpretations that you have to do, because also our character is just wearing the most random amalgamation of stuff.
That's true. It's whatever's most powerful.
There's like 8 inventory slots that aren't being shown here. You got the hat, you got the cleaver, you got the spittoon reference. Probably the boots are somewhat accurate.
Yeah, she was wearing black boots, or at least at one point she was. And then disgusting boots. A lot of things came out of spittoons.
People are ditching some powerful items in spittoons.
Mm-hmm. I think I understood a shoe when drawing this. This is kind of a smashing up of a bunch of different shoes. This is what I came up with. I could have used my own cowboy boots, I realize now. I have a pair.
The best laid plans. I like the implied heart pattern in them.
Thank you. You can barely see it once it's all colored, but for now, you can see what I did texture-wise.
At this point in the soundtrack, Shania Twain kicks in with "Let's Go Girls," and then it's just a fight scene, punching cows.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are 2 girls, so it is plural.
Yeah. Because we picked up Susie as our sidekick.
Yeah.
The cow, hating, quick drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've decided that they're in a relationship.
They are friends. Best friends.
They're roommates.
Historians would describe them as best friends.
That's true.
Like, oh, these 2 women wrote love letters to each other. They're their 50-year friendship, and neither ever took a husband, and they lived in the same house, and were buried together, and they called each other my love and my dearest. They were really good friends.
Just girl things.
Gays weren't invented till the 70s.
I don't know why I decided wood should wood. Meanwhile, the angle is, like, wrong. But
actually, I have a question for you, because you lived in Santa Fe.
I did.
And I would assume, being the desert, that there's not as much timber around. So, like
pretty much everything was, like, every building. There were buildings that were not, but the way the places we lived in were all, what was it called?
Adobe?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, because I've only ever lived in the Northeast, and everything here is made of, like, it's got a wood frame.
Yeah, so it was a lot of clay.
Okay.
And whatever else goes into Adobe. And they were neat-looking buildings. Also, Santa Fe is particular about how high up a building can go. It can only have so many stories unless it's like a hospital.
You don't want the UFOs crashing into it.
But also, it makes it so everything is extremely flat. You can see very, very far, and it's hard to tell how far away a thing actually is. Which is interesting. I don't know why I do all this with the background. I wind up getting rid of all of it. Why did I put so much time into that cactus? It's meaningless. And then I have to erase the background lines from... Why did I do this to myself? Anyway.
You were building.
I was figuring things out.
You're building up.
Problem solving.
Sometimes when you're putting on Adobe, you're putting clay on, and sometimes you're taking clay away.
Is that a metaphor that works?
Sure.
Okay.
We can pretend it does.
Sure.
If you and I agree that metaphor works, then it works within this room. And if you disagree, you can say so in the comment section below.
So that was my figuring out how to do a clipping layer for another thing that I'm not going to use. A mask. But now is the color. I knew I wanted to work with almost black and definitely white, and I wanted her to be blonde, and after that was a lot of, I don't know.
Well, the game is black and white, so
Right.
you wanted to have sort of the highlight colors be black and white.
Yeah, it's sort of paying homage to what it actually looks like in the game.
Yeah.
I don't even remember now what colors I made everything else. But
I think I know, but I'll wait for you. I'll wait for it to happen.
I know it's blue jeans. Yeah, just the boots. Soon you won't be able to see the detail of the boots. Also, I shade some things at the same time as coloring and other things not.
Did you have a logic to it?
I think I just forgot. Because I don't do a separate layer unless I'm doing a clipping mask to make sure I don't, like, draw over where I want the color to be. But, over as in past. So sometimes I'll do a separate layer for shading if I'm using a mask. But otherwise, it's all directly on the color layer. What was I
Glitch
trying
in the
to
Matrix there.
Your face moved. Oh, there's so much that happens here. Because I wanted to fix the eyes so much, and I wasn't quite sure how to go about it.
Because we don't see your mouse moving, I'm sure you're flipping through like 8,000 things and we're just not seeing it.
Yeah. It's all on the eyeballs. And I notice how not zoomed in I am while I'm doing the eyes. Zooming would have helped. And I decided, you know, this is fine. It'll just be far.
Oh, I can't see your mouse like that. It's just sometimes.
Very jittery. It's a very upset little bug.
Moving very fast.
Oh, hello. See, I eventually figured out that it should be closer. Also gave her lipstick for some reason. Is she fancy?
Well, it could just be the blood of the cow she's punched.
Or maybe berries. Maybe she decided to get fancy and she just picked up a random berry bush and smooshed it on her face. That seems like something she'd do.
Yeah.
I wanted to put so much more detail in this.
You spent a good amount of time on this, though.
This was 3 hours of my life.
You'll never get it back.
No. Oh, and
Spit.
this could have been a silver spittoon. Again, it's black and white game. But I decided, no, it should be like gold or bronze.
Brass spittoon, I think,
Yeah.
works. You're really good with the metals there, with the spatterings of color. And yeah, look at that. Oh, such talent.
No.
Yes.
I mean, thank you. As talent implies that I didn't, like, work for it.
No, talent is something you skill.
Skill.
Skill?
I like that.
Skill.
I also think I could be better, but
Oh yeah, I mean, no matter where you are, you should be trying to improve. And
Yeah.
you always do. I'm just like, you should appreciate, like, metals are really hard to
they
do.
really are.
And you, like, I know we're watching it sped up, but watching that, like, you pulled that off real fast.
The trick is to understand that you need to learn more while not hating yourself so much that you stop drawing entirely.
Yeah, not insulting your own work in front of
I'm
your
working
husband
on
who will
it
correct
so
you.
hard. I'm working on it. Because otherwise, you don't want to get so full of yourself so you stop learning.
Right, no. No, you should.
No.
There's always new stuff to learn or new stuff to practice. Or
And the trick to metal is contrast. To make it extra shiny. I'm doing
cutting
the
down
wood.
that wood. You do really good wood too, because of the textures and the
you.
grains.
I used to draw a lot of bare trees. Like, that was always my background, was just, like, trees in winter. A lot of dead trees.
Well, you grew up in New York. There's a lot of cold months to just look outside and get inspired.
That's true. Deciding where shadow is going to be. I wanted to say shading and shadow at the same time.
Shade shadow.
Shadow.
Sure.
Decided that should blend into each other a little bit. See, this is what I mean. That she is not shaded. The little bits I've already colored for at all. But I do all this. Why? Why for? I guess because to do the spittoon, it had to be. because I'm making the metal at the same time. Though it is a little yellower than I would have preferred.
I think it makes it pop out.
I could have browned it up. If I ever go back into it, I would brown
You're
it.
surrounded by so much other brown though. You didn't want it to just like fade in.
That's true. Once she has the yellow hair, it's not as intense. Because obviously the spittoon should not be our main subject matter here.
Well, no, obviously we're playing as the spittoon in the game.
At this point,
Spitty spittoon.
so much of her stuff has come out of one, it might as well be. Well, yeah, this is how I color hair.
Beautiful.
So it's splotches and then blending. Just a really light, gentle blend.
Gives really nice texture. You get the implication that there's a lot more lines in there than there actually are.
That's what I go for. It's how I did Ohaldana too.
Which is a great comic full of great faces.
Thank you. Also, for a while there, her own hair is her hair tie, which I thought I was going to leave, because that is a thing. When your hair is long enough, you could potentially do it that way. But, it does not stay that way. Like most things in this picture. Nothing stays the same.
Yeah, it's a process.
I did label a couple of my layers, but mostly I have to blink in and out to see what's what. Like that. Because I'm doing a gray on a gray.
Lately, I've been on the trip where I forget to do layers, and then like I do my pencil, and then I go in and start doing the pen, and then halfway through I realize that I should have started a new layer.
Yeah, whoops.
Just drawn directly on the pencil.
See, it's not exactly the same gray, but it was close enough that it would have been a dick.
Yeah.
I didn't wind up doing any shine on that, did I? That's fine.
It's fine.
We're both the kind of person who, after the fact, goes, oh, wait, I had a million other things I should have done. Whoops.
Like going back to things like a day afterwards and just seeing what I feel like tweaking. Because drawing, I have such a complex set of emotions. I start out with a good idea, I like it, and then around the middle I hate it, and I'm doing terrible, and I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but I can't quit. And then, if everything goes well, I start liking it again, and then at the end, I look at it and I see only the mistakes.
My favorite, least favorite is when I have a comic, like a short comic, and I don't notice the major spelling error until after I've already posted it on the internet and people have liked it and shared it.
Yes, that has been an issue.
That's heartbreaking. It's just, oh no, don't look at me. But no one ever mentions it, which means they must have not noticed either, because it's the internet. They would have harped on it.
Oh, I had people mention it.
Oh.
Mostly that was programming my own site, so I just replaced the image that was on the page and redid that way. The shares still worked. So
This is me deciding without line art, hey, I know what this sleeve should look like.
yeah. That's where the sleeve goes.
Yeah. I wanted sort of a capped sleeve.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it to go too far into where the tattoo was. But still not like no sleeve.
Little bit of a sleeve.
Yeah. It's it's a pretty little shirt.
Yeah.
I would wear this outfit.
You'd rock that outfit.
Well, thank you.
Don't you have that vest?
Probably. I have black vests, and I have whatever vest Mom gave me that was very Western.
Yeah, I think that might be the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, that... I had one with tassels, and I also have one that's like the furry, if I ever want to dress as Sabretooth.
Oh, yeah.
I have options.
The tiniest Sabretooth.
Yeah.
I'll be your big Wolverine.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, so...
You can be my bub.
So now I go back in and start trying to fix things up and shading. And when do I figure out skin? Now? Maybe? I don't remember. I have no memory of this place. I did this for 3 hours.
Their skin.
Very orange.
Peachy.
Skin is another hard thing to figure out.
There are certain tones that are definitely skin, and then tweaking them a little bit makes them very much not skin.
Also, skin has so many colors to it. Like, if you're doing an actual realistic portrait, there's
There's
so many colors to skin.
Greens and reds.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like peach with green. And then you'll get basically, and then however pale or browner, you know,
Yeah.
just gotta mess with it.
I say yeah, like I went to art school and had to learn to paint skin tone.
Honestly, most of my skin tone learnings was from high school.
I did do the mounted hand portrait. And
You did?
You really helped me get the skin proper with that. Especially with all the shading and my lack of like true knowledge in acrylics. So I give you credit for the skin looking as good on that as it did.
Shout out to George Diroff. Most things that I know about skin tone and drawing it, coloring it, are from him. It's also blending and knowing when to not blend.
Yeah.
Because you need to have some harsher lines.
You are really good at faces.
Well, thank you. I worry that I get a lot of same face.
No. No. Your characters have very different faces.
Well, okay. It's same face unless I'm trying to draw the same character more than once. And then they're completely different people. Still working on that. I don't know, do you agree with my interpretation of what she would look like?
Yeah, no, this fits with what I was thinking. You know, I don't know if I've made this comparison again, but your faces are like, they're like super detailed Archie, like they're like glow up Archie comic characters.
I accept that. I could do a Betty and Veronica.
You could do a Betty and Veronica.
Kissing.
Yeah.
Because no one can tell me that they weren't.
They were friends.
Mm.
Best friends.
They were roommates.
They wrote each other's letters.
Did I shade the shoe? Did I just ignore the shoe? No, okay. Here's me shading the vest. And the shoe.
You're like, you're your own worst troll. You're just sitting here just like, she's gonna forget to shade the shoe.
Like I wasn't there. I have no memory.
Yeah.
I go into a daze. I left for a second. If I ever go back into it, I'll add a shine on that. And
Yeah.
I'll do stuff, but I don't know that I would add to it. I don't know that anyone would want to, like, if I made a print of this, would someone want it? I feel like no. But I
feel like with the conventions we do, it'd have to be a little bit more of a recognizable property. But we also just sell like random art, so
That's true.
I don't know. If people wanted a print of this, we could make a print of this.
Comment below if you want a print of this. I like it.
Would you buy this on a T-shirt? Don't say so on Twitter because the bots will steal the art.
That's true.
Although I did like how people used that, where they made an image that said "this site steals art," and then they just promoted it as just like, "Wow, I would buy this on a T-shirt," just so those sites would out themselves.
That's true. Here's me figuring out the background.
Oh, you did really good. I really like the color palette there.
Try and make it sort of sunset colors and then the sky.
That's so pretty.
Thank you.
Whoa! All right.
Because I wanted the background
Goodbye.
all in one layer. So that I could...
And here's where I got frustrated and deleted everything. Just do.
I threw out the computer. I'm trying to decide how fuzzy. Because, yeah.
Oh, that is nice.
The final piece.
That is nice. She's off.
Thank you.
She's going on an adventure. She just pulled that knife out of the spittoon. She's going to go punch a cow who's off screen.
I have no idea where the light source is because the sun is over on the opposite direction of where the shadow would be. But we're just going to pretend that's fine.
It could be a hellfire cow that's giving off its own light.
We'll say that. We'll say that because that sounds better than whoops, fucked up.
Or the sun is over there, but behind her that's where the meteor crashed. And that's where she's going to adventure.
Mayhaps.
The magic glowing portal over there.
By the way, she seems very unsure. She's smiling for the camera, but... oh geez.
Yep, in just 20 more minutes she'll be done taking that picture.
I was aiming initially for like... well, initially. Once I got onto this face, I was aiming for like a... yeah? You coming with me, Betty? And that it's not what happens.
I say more as like a smirk, like I'm gonna go punch this cow.
I like that better. That was closer to what I was aiming for. I still like her tattoo.
Like,
I kind of
hey,
want her tattoo.
like the eyebrows up, like you want to see me punch this cow. I gotta send the cows back to hell.
We've been playing so much of this game. So this is Grey Bronze.
All right, good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Ron. It turned out really well. I know you have criticisms for yourself,
do.
but keep them to yourself and just appreciate that this is a good job.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.